What's good, YouTube? And welcome to the house. It feels good to be back, and we're going to touch on some more general subjects today, such as Cyberstorm Access Day 1, and my thoughts here, Photon Hypernova, and some Banlist fears, as well as new metagame Hopium, and then going through, and there's Banlist Hopium too, of course everybody's in Banlist Hopium right now, and general other things like Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary, their promos. But first I want to shout out Stay Classy and their 5th year anniversary. They're redoing some of their field centers. They've touched them up. Very popular ones like Jinzo and Time Wizard, as well as a really cool Forbidden new release. Code What's Good 5 for 5% off and support the channel directly, of course, works on the website, making the field centers cheaper for you. And these are some of the best, most premium ones. We've done the noise plenty on the channel where they clank real loud compared to normal metal field centers, but I love their work. Now let's talk about Cyberstorm Access here. I really don't like the price on the boxes versus it being kind of Starlight or bust. You have to get the best 2 secret rares to do better than even in your box, or get some really nice ultra pulls on top, although the ultras are doing somewhat well for themselves. So we've noticed this in modern product, right? That the ultra rares are starting to really pull and hold value. Now you do have a $400 out the gate Starlight, but this is coming down in price somewhat fast, but you can see the listers are getting more competitive. We're seeing this more at 400, and don't underestimate it when it comes to branded Starlights, right? Like, these cards tend to do very well around this deck. And you also do see the Despian Lilith, however you say that, Lilith. But when it comes to this card, it is starting to come down to be a little more realistic, but you can see less of it listed. People want to hold onto it compared to the other Starlights, or it's getting actual sales there. Let's actually check in on that, because I do wonder if it is the actual sales, and it's got a good amount going so far, but is it really all that better versus the others? Yeah, it's got a pretty darn good sales rate out the gate early comparatively. Now, looking through, Chaos Angel is still taking the top of the set, a little bit cheaper than pre-sales were, but at the same time, I think Tier 0 was cheaper than this. Gamer's Choice, I think, was a little more expensive. It's still the top card of the set. They were right. I was wrong on that. I thought that throughout the opening weekend that it would get taken over, but it doesn't look like there's a rate or world where that currently happens unless something really pops off weekend 1. Now, you do have, of course, the Mana Diem deck. Peaceful Planet here is doing relatively well for itself, and the branded stuff is really sticking close to pre-sale prices, which a lot of these cards are so far. I expect developments through the weekend where you might see some cards get bought out and other cards end up really sinking down in price. There's usually only a few winners opening weekend where everything else ends up falling down and out in price. The ultra rares, though, doing some heavy lifting, like Bestial Dispater. I keep laughing because I remember that Family Guy meme on Twitter where somebody's actually turned Peter Griffin into this monster, and it looks so impressive what they did. And even the Gold Pride cards really sticking up there towards pre-sale prices. Now, you do have the super rare, super heavy Samurai stuff being a bit expensive, 6.9 nice, but again, I think we'll see more listings throughout the weekend, and people getting in their offices Monday, Tuesday, and that kind of stuff. The main thing here to me is that the sealed feels bloated. It's Starlight or bust so far, and usually sets like this we see come down in price rather than up, unless certain cards in here end up exploding in demand. So far I feel like the set still a bit bloated for what it is, and we'll see how it ends up developing. Photon Hypernova, though, I think is getting a lot of undervalue depending on how the ban list turns out, and that's what's really shaking this up, is ban list fears. Copium. I do think there will be a ban list before the WCQ, but you're speculating whenever you're talking about what Konami will do, and then ban list itself is going to be speculation on what it will hit or want. So if it even will happen versus what's going to happen, and Konami might be waiting to see how Cyberstorm Access does shake things up before doing a later than normal ban list, but there is a precedent for that, like Zodiac format, that they can do a later ban list before the WCQ. But yeah, yeah, real big fallouts in prices for Kashtira, and people are saying pretty much they think that deck is going to get slammed. I think Konami would want to cash in on reprints, and if it misses the ban list by a large chunk, I do think you will see this explode in price, and a lot of people choose it for the WCQ season, although there's other decks that people are looking forward to right now. Maze of Memories Baroness is just going up in price non-stop. You probably should have seen this coming in terms of ratios are terrible, even if it's not short printed. The ratio basically shorts it when we're talking about only 3.6 on average per case, and then one collector rare in about every 4 cases. It's really wild. Now, you do have some listers putting it, a little bit under market price, but this is going pretty consistently at this point, near $55 once again, and a lot of decks do end up choosing to have access to it. Speaking of synchros, Excel Synchron Stardust is about where I called $40. It started shockingly low. There were better times to get it, and now it's up towards $40. This set has been a pretty wild ride, but again, you're looking at 2 chases or bust or getting really good collector rares, and the seal just doesn't feel worth it yet. It's consistently going up based on this, and I just think the estimated value isn't there yet. People are really rushing at it. You have the Legendary Collection 25th Anniversary Edition box coming out. People are opening it, having fun. It's mostly meant more casual. You have the change in layout of card of having the holographic star attribute, those kind of things. But I do want to touch on the promo packs. The Starlights here, or Quarter Century Secret Rares, whatever you want to call them, they are towards the back of the promo pack, and that actually scuffs the back of a lot of the promos. So true near mints are extremely, if not impossible, hard to find in terms of not having that scuffed up real bad if you're trying to go in for grading, but they are near mint in the sense of playability and how they look. You're basically going to have 8s out of the packs on a lot of these, though. Blue Eyes is taking the lead and has gone up over time, while the rest of them have sat about where they were towards pre-sales. Obelisk towards the end here, very interesting. But yeah, all these around $10. Like, saying that this box has a guaranteed $10 pull and so much fun towards it, I do think you could see this ending up going up, and you see a lot of people not wanting to list it so much versus the quantities that are out there, and a lot of people are probably holding this for longer term. Speed Duel GX, speaking of holding for longer term, I really like the cover of this product being the Dark Jaden, and you have really awesome holds in the secret rares. They're all doing great in price. When we touched on them last in Super Poly, even up just a little bit, low quantities, and a lot of interest in them despite the Speed Duel stamp. So Super Poly is funny because it already has a secret rare, but DD Crow, Allure, and Macro all getting those upgrades, pretty important to the set, and having Jaden on the front, I just kind of like it for long term, but there's plenty that could go wrong there, of course. Do know that Konami could unwave it unlimited at any time. Speed duels could end for rush duels. There's so much, and I do wonder how speed duels would actually do then as kind of a figured thing, if it could develop or if it'll just kind of go into the wasteland like Battle Pack Draft to a degree, although Battle Pack did go up a lot in price for its sealed over time. Then you have amazing defenders here, and purely turns out it's a big brain deck. If you follow Jeff Jones on Twitter, he's talking about how unforgiving a single misplay in this deck can be, and a lot of people trying it out go, wait, this is a lot harder than I thought, and you have to really know the rest of the metagame. It's one of those decks where you have to know all the interactions and where to interrupt and what to do, so people are figuring out this cute little friend to play. It's a bit rougher than it seemed, although that doesn't seem to deter prices. It's still one of the most bought out things of all time. Here it is, it's time, and yeah, it's still hanging around these super high prices to play the deck, more than the adventure token package was, for reference, so that's kind of wild to me. I think it's a little bloated for people just having hopium to be playing something else, but again, big brain deck, and plenty of other things to run around like the super heavy samurai stuff. So, do you think that Cashier will still be the deck to beat going into the WCQ? Do you think there's going to be a sideways ban list that actually takes care of it? Very light hits that don't take care of it? I do want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. It feels great to be back, and I'll try to get to more regular uploads once again. Probably do another Monday Market Watch coming up, but I'm going to take this weekend off. Thanks for watching, everybody.